Round 3, let's go. What you got for me, episode 3?
Yare yare. 姉貴のタバコ嫌いにも参ったもんだな。
すまんな。夕べからカリカリしとるんや。気にせんでやってくれんか。
What happened last night, huh? What'd you do, Hideyoshi? Rudolph and Hideyoshi went out onto the deck and took out some cigarettes. Ava had always hated the smell of cigarettes, but when she was in a bad mood, she got even more sensitive to them. When they decided to smoke casually until they reached the island, the two of them had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. Hideyoshi tried to use his lighter, but the strong winds gave him some trouble. Rudolph took out a Zippo with a smooth gesture and let Hideyoshi borrow the flame.
秀吉兄さんはいつ頃からタバコを？
戦後すぐや。最初はタバコを転がしとってな。自分の売り物に手をつけてしまったわけや。
じゃあ姉貴と会った時にはもう吸ってたわけだ。姉貴には随分やめろやめろと言われたでしょ。わしが聞く耳持たんもんだから、あれももうすっかり諦めよった。なやはり男は強情でなくてはあかんな。
You know what, Hideyoshi? You stand up for your queen enough, I think you've earned yourself smoking privileges. Hideyoshi laughed heartily, but Rudolph snickered. After being scolded by Ava, they'd escaped to the deck together with their tails between their legs. There was a little doubt who had gotten her way in that exchange.
普段はあそこまで短気じゃないんや。いや、普段はもっと温和なおとなしい女なんやで。
Really? Maybe around you, my guy, but the Ava I've known, nothing like that.
毎年毎年この日になると人が変わりよるんや。
Like, I can understand her not being excited for... Well, I mean, I guess that's true. We've never seen her outside of the family reunion, but... Just from what we've heard from other people, I don't realize... Believe that. Gentle... Okay, quiet. She's not really a loud person. I'll believe that much. I believe that much. That she's not one to really raise her voice. Okay? But gentle? No, that woman does not play gentle. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me, Hideyoshi.
そうなんですか？
そうや。後ろ宮家のエヴァに戻るんや。でもそれはわしと一緒のエヴァとは違うんや。
まあ、カリカリする気持ち、今回の親族会議は面倒だ。
そうやな。あのクラウス兄さんから金を脅し取ろうっちゅう計画や。親族会議なんて名ばかりの、これはただの兄弟喧嘩や。
Hey, yeah. Before the family conference, 3 of the siblings had made a secret pact without Kraus. Well, I mean, duh. It'd be really weird if they made a pact with Kraus to gang up on Kraus. They're all facing urgent situations and need a lot of money fast. And the only one they could turn to was Kraus, who spoke for the Ushirami ahead now that Ginzo spent most of his time up in his study. For a long time now, they'd vaguely sensed that Kraus was taking advantage of the fact that Ginzo had lost interest in his own wealth. And they suspected that he'd started embezzling that wealth to suit his own purposes. Despite being disgusted by this, they turned a blind eye to it while everything was still going smoothly for them. But now that they needed money, they really couldn't afford to let that slide. Ava had asked Rudolph and Rosa to form an alliance, and they were now scheming to take that money away from Kraus.
わしも、そしてルドルフ君も社長や。社員の生活を背負っとる身や。
ローザも社長ですよ。ま、道楽ですね。
そうやな、失礼。つまり、わしらは誰もが背負うものを持っとるっちゅうことや。
俺も幹部連中の前で単価を切った以上、土下座しても、泥をすすってでも、金を引っ張ってこ
お互い様や。わしも、わしを信じてついてきてくれた社員たちを裏切れん。それこそ クラウス兄さんの首根っこを掴んででも金を引っ張り出さんといかんのや。
姉貴は昔っから兄貴とは犬猿だ。その兄貴と全面対決しなくちゃならねえんだから、そりゃカリカリもするだろうよ。
やっぱりエヴァはクラウス兄さんとは昔から仲が悪かったんか？
本人話しませんか？そりゃもう盛大に。
昔の話は聞いても話してくれんのや。思い出したい話がないんやろな。
姉貴は昔っから容量も良くて頭が良かった。成績も良かった。
I believe it.
それに比べ兄貴は盆栽だった。ただそばにいるだけでも十分にプレッシャーだったろう。兄貴は
アホやな。なんでそない敵外心むき出しで追い詰めるんや。そういうのは容量がいいとは言わん。
確かに兄貴は女に生まれたことを悔やんでた。だから男というだけの理由で当主を継ぐことが決まっている兄貴が、だからことあるごとに自分の方が優秀であると親父に誇示していた。
お父さんは古いタイプの人や。男女には差別的な価値観を持っとった。自己顕示の強いエヴァは少々嫌われてたんとちゃうか。
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。
Wow. Like, I get it. This is taking place like a couple decades ago when they were younger, I'm guessing. Guessing if they were older, they'd have modern
ないのも味気ない
sprites.
が、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
Wow. Since you can still drink black tea without sugar, he was in effect saying that there was no need for women to study. Those infuriating words were what Nissan hurled at me in my despair. Even when I asked to go to college, only to be denied by father. I protested that I needed to build up proper dignity and making education as the oldest daughter in the Ushiramiya family, making college an essential next step. But when it came down to it, father's and Nissan's answers were exactly the same. How conceited for a woman. I've never taken the Ushiramiya name lightly, not once since I was born into it. And I've been even more careful not to take my father's name, Ushiramiya Kinzo, lightly. Our family is an old one with many traditions, but it lost its wealth and businesses in the Great Kanto earthquake, pushing it to the brink at one point. And that was when father took control with his ingenious talent, reviving it to be even greater than it had been before. Not once did I forget that I was the daughter of the great Ushiramiya Kinzo. That's why I always made every effort to become worthy of that name. I needed dignity worthy of the Ushiramiya family. Schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I couldn't quite reach father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance, trying to improve myself so I could be of use to him at any time. However, in the end, father never acknowledged my efforts. To father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than that was permissible. When was it that I came to understand that? It may have been as early as my childhood years, but I was going to have to wait until I grew up before I could truly accept it. Compared to me, you couldn't have said that Kraus, my older brother of I'm stumbling all over my words. My older brother of 2 years worked hard at all to become deserving of the Ushiramiya family name. He told me many times in my early childhood that he would naturally succeed father simply because he was born a man. He kept on repeating that, as though it formed an uncrossable gap between us. I couldn't stand it. Even though I always got better grades than Nissan. Even though I became class president when he never managed more than vice president. Even so, Nissan was considered to be the appropriate successor to the Ishiramiya family just because he was a man. Of course, you could find gender discrimination everywhere in those days. No, it was even considered a virtue in that era. During that despicable time, people said that when a woman is born, she obeys her parents, when she gets married, she obeys her husband, and when she gets old, she obeys her children. But that was exactly why I wanted to turn that on its head. I mean, I can respect that, absolutely. That's a very good... This episode's gonna make me like Ava, isn't it? God damn it. Alright, fucking go off, let's see. Innocently, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. However, I eventually realized that all my efforts had been doomed from the beginning.
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。
Keep running your mouth, I'll put something in your black tea.
ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
それはどういう意味よ、兄さん。
男には男にしか務められないことがあるように、女とて女にしか務められないことがある。子を産み育て一家の主を支えるのは女でなければできぬ務めだと思うがね。
Wow. You do not deserve your wife. You really don't. Why Nazi ever fucking married a goddamn loser like you? I'll never fucking understand.
女には勉強や仕事をする必要がないと言いたいの？
そこまでは言わんよ。無学な女など話していても疲れるだけだ。だがあまり頭が良すぎる女はもっと使
Jesus
える。
Christ.
お前のように自己主張の激しい女では未来の夫もさぞや苦労すると思うのだがね。
余計なお世話よ。
お前が親父殿を尊敬していて、その娘としてふさわしくありたいと思う気持ちは私にも尊敬できることだ。
気持ち悪い。何が私よ。この間まで俺だったくせに。もう当主気取りなの？
当主は私が継ぐことに最初から決まっている。にもかかわらず、お前は自分も当主になれるかのように錯覚して。
暴走した努力。私が大学院に進みたいと言い出すのがそんなにもおかしいっていうの？
ああ、おかしいね。お前は確かに栄光ある後宮家の長女だよ。やがてはその家紋を背負って父にとって最も価値ある相手と婚約することになるだろう。だがそこで求められるのは過剰な学識ではない。夫をいたわる優しい気持ちと家事能力、そして一家の長を立てる控えめな態度だ。お前にはそれが完全に欠落している。それは後宮家の令嬢として果たしてふさわしいことなのかね。
God, you know what? No wonder Ava fucking hates everyone.
私は真相の令嬢のつもりなんかないわよ。お父様の仕事を手伝ってあげられる最高の人間でありたいと思っただけよ。
ならそれは後宮家令嬢としてふさわしくあるべきではないのかね。お前ときたらなんだね。いい年をして未だに男勝りで家事炊事はおろか男を喜ばせる化粧一つ身につけていないじゃん。
Jesus fucking Christ.
最近は喧嘩の稽古までしてるというじゃないかね。
失礼な。喧嘩じゃないわよ。武道は心の修練に最適なのよ。それに叱るべき場に出るときは十分女として気を使ってるわよ。何が言いたいのよ。女は男に仕える奴隷であれとしゃしゃりで。
それを認めるのはエレガントでは。お前の勘違いを正すには少々毒のある言葉も必要かと思うよ。だから言い切ろう。女は男に仕えるために存在する。そして男は女を養うために存在する。女の仕事は男の背中を守り家庭を守って子を育てることだ。それは本来言葉で気づかされることではない。おのずと気づくことだ。しかしお前はいくつになってもそれを自覚しなかったな。 だから社会に出る前に兄である私がその誤解を解くのだよ。感謝してほしいものだね。
それは全ての女への侮辱よ。いえ、私は自分のことを女だと思ったことなどないし、女だからと甘えたことなど一度もない。
Hell yeah.
私のどこが兄さんに劣っているというの？成績も経歴も何もかも私の方が勝っていて、ただ男である以上の何も持たない兄さんが私の何を見下せるっていうのよ。
身の程をわきまえているか否かだよ。私は次の当主としての心構えを日々養っている。それは将来必ず必要になることだ。嫁ぎ後ろ宮の席を失うことが決まっているくせに、何がそんなに不満なの？仮に男に生まれようとも当主を継ぐのはお前ではないだろう。お前は何がそんなにも不満で私に突っかかってくるのか。
Cause you're an asshole.
何が不満かですって？兄さんはいつも自分は当主跡継ぎだからと私を見下して、そのくせ
What's my complaint, you say? I've got a billion of them. Grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget keep floating through the back of my mind. They all built up at the same time, coming out of my throat as a shameful moan.
何事か想像し、
Ruh-roh.
沈黙を尊ぶのは神だけではないぞ。
お父さん。
お父様。
He'd probably overheard our sibling fight. Father entered with a clearly unhappy face.
フラウス、また兄弟喧嘩か。お前にはなぜに弟や妹たちを率いる貫禄が宿らぬのか。情けない。長男が聞いては切れるぞ。
In a flash, he struck Krause's face. I readied myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit.
申し訳ありません、お父さん。
お前に足りぬのは貫禄だけではない。まだまだ足りぬ。何もかもが未熟だ。
Yeah!
にもかかわらず一人前を気取っておる。
Yeah, let him know, Kinzo.
それを語るには100年早いことを肝に銘じ、研鑽に努めよ。わしをこれ以上息子の不出来で嘆かせるでないぞ。
はい、お父さんの後を継ぐにふさわしい人間になれるようさらに努力します。
As if those words were directed at me. Even when he was being yelled at by Father, he was still bragging to me about how he was special. About how he was the successor. I just couldn't stand it, and finally spoke what was on my mind. Ooh. Even though I realized that it would be improper for a member of the Ushiromiya family to do such a thing.
お父様、教えてください。私の何が劣っているというのですか？私はお父様の名に恥じない人間になれるよう、どうか私にも何が劣っているのかお教えください。私はこれ以上何を身につけたならお父様に認めていただけるのですか？
またその話か。お前には何と言えばわかるのだ。お前に期待していることなど何もない。女は女らしく料理や裁縫を学んでおればいい。貴様には女の心構えがないのだ。夫に仕えようとする気心が男に尽くそうという海外しさが全く感じられぬ。何のための女なのか。後ろ宮家の令嬢であることを自覚しておるのか。なのに学びたがることは男の真似事ばかり。お前の役割はクラウスの真似事ではないのだぞ。お前には自らの役割が分かっているのか。
私は後ろ宮家の人間としてお父様の名に恥ずかしくない。
その時点でもう間違っておるわ。貴様の役割は家を出て嫁ぎ、わしにとって有益な男を連れてくることだ。そして夫に尽くし子を産み増やせ。 夫の一族に褒めたたえられる良妻であれ。お前に男を喜ばせる何ができるというのか、茶の作法があるというのか、料理の才能があるというのか、何もない。お前がやっているのはみんなクラウスの真似事ばかりではないか。後宮家はクラウスが継ぐ。お前がそれに不満を唱えるというのなら、それお前は我が娘でありながら父の言うことを聞けぬというのか。出て行け。感動だ。
Oh.
お前に後宮など語らせん。感動だ、感動だ。
God damn.
お父さん、しっかり。
God damn it. This episode's already succeeded in making me like Ava a bit more. Because, like, hell yeah, she's standing up for the right things. But I think she just... Her main issue is she has this obsession, I think, with just trying to prove her father and her and Kraus wrong. About how wrong they were, about, look how fucking amazing I am, like, fuck you. And honestly, I get it. I understand now her drive to try to make George, like, the next successor after, Kraus. Just be like, ah, your daughter ain't shit. Like, obviously she has nothing against Jessica personally. It's not that she dislikes Jessica. And that's probably why she does actually encourage Jessica's behavior and encourage her to be more independent, because that's probably what Ava wished someone would have done for her. You know, wish she would have had someone supporting her and her methods. Also the fact that this was like, what, the 60s, 50s? Ava was wearing pants. Bro, women wearing pants back then? Bruh, big moves.
落ち着いてください。源氏さん、水を持ってきてもらえますか。
はい、ただいま。
But yeah, my original point of why for some reason I got distracted by the fact that she's wearing pants. But yeah, no, my original point that it's no surprise that she's so obsessed with trying to put George forward as the successor, because then that would be like the ultimate fuck you to Kraus. And be like, yeah, you thought you were ahead of this shit, but guess, look whose kid is taking over. Eat my fucking dick. And then of course she's constantly gonna flaunt George's just overall, you know, personality and whatnot, and his traits and all that. Because obviously she'd be like, hey, yeah, look at what you did. You think you're something special, but look at the kid you raised. You're not proud of your kid. But look at me. Look at my kid. You see how amazing my kid is? Yeah, fuck you. And once again, it's not that she dislikes Jessica. It's just the fact that she's showing off. It's like, yeah, you thought I was nothing, but look at the amazing kid I raised. Alright? And Kraus has no choice but to accept the fact, like, yeah, nah, George is pretty fucking great. So honestly, this little bit of backstory here, it makes a lot of things make a lot of sense. It really makes me understand why she does a lot of things she does. Like, I can't blame her for a lot of the things that she's done, knowing that she has this, she's essentially had this massive inferiority complex. It's not an inferiority complex necessarily. It's not that she believes she's lesser than anyone. I guess it kind of is. I don't know, but she just always has this drive to prove herself as someone who's... She's always trying to prove herself, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say? I don't know. But it definitely... Long story short, I definitely understand a lot of the actions she's made throughout this story. It's why she's probably so resistant to Shannon, because, like, if George marries Shannon, well then that's, you know... For one, if you marry someone like Shannon, Shannon is like exactly the kind of person that Kraus was describing, you know? Someone who only serves their man, who only knows how to sew, sew clothing and cook the food. And it's like, no. She doesn't want something like that for a kid. She wants her kid to marry, you know, someone strong and independent like her to further prove to, you know, her older sibling, fuck you, these kind of women can fucking be a part of this family, and they damn well should be, you know? As much as I love my girls Nazi and Shannon, like, I gotta admit, like, I totally understand why Ava acts the way she does towards them. Like, I doubt she even particularly dislikes Nazi. It's more so the fact that Nazi, you know, is an example of, like, the woman that Ava doesn't want to be. And that's probably why she constantly attacks her. It's just the simple fact that she looks at her as, like, the woman that everyone wanted her to be, and she hates having to see that. And then, of course, the fact that she's, you know, connected to Kraus, who she has this hefty grudge against. It makes sense. A lot of these things make sense.
本心ではないさ。私がなだめておく。
感動だ。私の言うことが危険なら感動だ。
Father was coughing pretty badly, and Nissan patted his back, as if it was a duty that was naturally his. It was so vexing for me to let him take that duty off for himself right then. If I carelessly approached Father at that moment, then I would probably be the one to get hit next. However, I fearlessly tried to approach Father's back. Genji blocked me.
エヴァ様、今は席をお外しになられた方が良いでしょう。親方様は今日はご機嫌がよくありません。
でも
なぜに私の息子たちはこうも不出来なのか。クラウスは貫禄が足りず、エヴァはいつまでたってもじゃじゃ馬だ。男らしい男はおらず、女らしい女もいない。私の育て方がいつどこでどう間違ったのか。なぜだ源氏、私は何をいつどこでどう間違えたというのか。
Fucking yikes.
親方様は何もお間違いになってはおりません。クラウス様はたくましいご子息。何もお間違いにはなっておりません。
あれのどこが麗しいというのか。淑女どころか男の真似事ばかり。感動だ、感動だ。
お父さん、それは私からよくエヴァに言い聞かせ、エヴァもこれからは心を入れ替えてレディーとして振る舞うと、どうかもう少しの猶予をいただけませんか。
何がレディー。感動だ、感動だ。
Go quickly and leave this to me. Kraus gave me a look telling me that. God damn.